All right, today we're going to take a journey back in time, way back to the Dutch Golden Age, to a city that was, without a doubt, the wealthiest and most innovative on the entire planet. Now, for centuries, all we had were drawings of these scenes, but thanks to some incredible new AI technology, we can actually step right into the 1600s and see Amsterdam as it really was, a city that pretty much invented the future.
You know, there's this famous Dutch saying that I think just perfectly captures the spirit of our story. This isn't just about a city. No, it's about a people who literally built their nation out of the water, who battled the sea itself to create a global powerhouse that would go on to change everything.
So get ready, because this is not your typical, stuffy, historical tour. We are going to walk the streets, we're going to sail the canals, and stand in the exact courtyards where the modern world was forged. This is Amsterdam at the absolute peak of its power.
Our tour begins right where the city itself began, with its relationship to water. You see, the Amstel River gave Amsterdam its name and its lifeblood, but it was also this constant threat, something that had to be managed and ultimately mastered.
Early on, the Amstel was just a peaceful, kind of pastoral river. But as Amsterdam grew into this jewel of Europe, that peace, well, it just couldn't last. The city completely transformed, putting up these massive earthen ramparts and star-shaped bastions. I mean, an incredible feat of engineering. This wasn't just expansion, this was fortification. So the big question is, why the sudden need for such massive defenses?
Well, the answer lies in a conflict that went on for generations. The Dutch were locked in the 80 Years' War with Spain, fighting for their very independence. Amsterdam was a huge target, and these incredible fortifications were purely a matter of survival, a shield protecting a revolution in commerce and ideas happening inside.
And this is where you can really see the genius of the Dutch mindset. As the city needed to grow, it didn't just sprawl out chaotically like other cities. Oh no, it was meticulously planned. This concentric canal belt was an engineering marvel, creating thousands of new plots for homes and businesses in a way that was precise, organized, and of course, really easy to defend.
Okay, now we're moving to the harbor. If you think of the canals as the city's arteries, then the port was its beating heart. This was the economic engine that powered its global dominance.
I mean, just try to imagine the scene. Hundreds of ships, a literal forest of masts completely choking the harbor. Every single one of those ships represented a fortune, a dangerous voyage, and a connection to some distant corner of the world. And here's the thing, Amsterdam didn't really produce much itself. Its genius was in being the world's middleman.
And just imagine the stuff arriving on those ships every single day. You've got spices from the East Indies that were literally worth more than gold, luxurious silks from China, timber from the Baltics to build even more ships. The city was like a giant vortex, just pulling in the wealth of the entire planet and then redistributing it for a tidy profit.
The engine driving all of this trade was a truly revolutionary concept, the VOC, or the Dutch East India Company. Now, this was the world's first multinational corporation, which is a huge deal. But even more important, it was the first company to ever issue stock to the public, an idea that would change finance forever.
And that financial revolution, well, that's our next stop. Because Amsterdam didn't just trade goods, it traded ideas, it traded risk, it traded the future itself. It created the very systems that our modern economies are still built on today.
The answer is right here, in this pretty unassuming space. This was the nerve center of global capitalism. This is where the modern financial world was effectively born.
This was the Amsterdam Exchange, the world's first modern stock exchange. For the very first time, you could trade not just barrels of grain, but shares in a company like the VOC. This created a level of liquidity that was just unprecedented, allowing anyone, at least anyone with some cash, to invest in global trade and then cash out whenever they wanted.
But they didn't stop there. They didn't just trade stocks. They invented entirely new ways to trade. Concepts that are totally central to Wall Street today. You know, like short selling, where you bet a stock will go down. Options, the right to buy or sell at a future date. And speculative futures, basically trading in stuff that hadn't even been harvested yet. All of it was pioneered right here by Dutch merchants in the 1600s.
But of course, this brand new system had its risks. Big risks. In 1637, the city experienced the world's very first speculative bubble, tulip mania. The price of a single tulip bulb skyrocketed to insane heights. We're talking the price of a mansion, before the whole market crashed spectacularly. It was a painful lesson in just how volatile this new form of capitalism could be.
Okay, let's move from the financial heart to the civic heart of the city, Dam Square. Because this is where we can really see how Amsterdam's unique political structure fueled all of its success.
The city's growth was just staggering. Its population quadrupled in only 50 years, making it one of the largest and most diverse cities in Europe. It became this incredible magnet for talent, for capital, and for anyone seeking opportunity.
And here's what's really crucial to understand. Amsterdam wasn't run by a king. It was a republic, governed by a council of its most successful merchants and citizens, the so-called burgomasters. Here, power came from wealth and business smarts, not from noble birth.
This quote really says it all. The merchants of Amsterdam held immense political power. Their economic influence was so huge that they could finance armies and sway the policies of entire kingdoms across Europe, all from their little counting houses right on the canals.
So, for our final stop, let's look at how all this wealth, this innovation, and this incredible civic pride was expressed in the city itself, leaving a legacy in art and architecture that still inspires us today.
Towering over the city at 85 meters was the Westerkerk, or Western Church. This was so much more than just the tallest building in Amsterdam. It was a beacon of Protestant faith and immense civic pride. In a city so focused on commerce, this magnificent church was a powerful declaration that other values mattered too.
And here's a final sort of poignant detail. Rembrandt, the artist who so brilliantly captured the faces and the very soul of this golden age, he was laid to rest right here. The man who chronicled the Republic's glory found his final home in the shadow of its greatest church tower. So when you look at the whole picture, from its innovative urban planning that literally tamed the water, to its invention of a global capitalist system, and its embrace of Republican values over monarchy, you realize 17th century Amsterdam was a blueprint for the modern world. And it leaves us with a really powerful question. What lessons in resilience, innovation, and civic governance can our own cities learn from this incredible story today?